All right, welcome everyone. Welcome. Today we have a very interesting and special episode where we are going to talk with Dirk from PrimeXBT Academy, and we're going to be talking about the co-vesting platform on PrimeXBT. So basically, what you can do with co-vesting is you can invest in other traders who will trade capital for you, and basically that way you'll earn passive income just by investing in them. All right, how's it going, Dirk? Welcome.
Good, very well. Thank you. Great to see you again. Hello, everybody out there. Happy to see everybody taking the time to learn a little bit about copy trading today.
Yeah, the last video we had was pre-recorded, so this one is live. So if you guys have any questions on the co-vesting platform or the token or PrimeXBT or whatever, just ask in the comments section, and I will save all the comments. And after we went through the co-vesting platform, we're gonna go through all the questions. All right, so let's run the intro, and right after the intro, you can just take over, and I'm gonna share the screen of yours. All right, let's go.
Good. All right, welcome everybody again. So my name is Dirk from the PrimeXBT Trading Academy. I'm the head of trading education there. And today I would like to walk you through our copy trading module powered by the Covesting Token a little bit. So this might be interesting, especially for everybody out there, that has job to attend to during the day. Maybe you have to go to the office or wherever you work 9 to 5. You don't have so much time to spend looking at charts, but you still want to participate in trading cryptos or whatever your asset, your favorite asset is out there. And this is really for you then. So you can access this when you have logged into your PrimeXBT trading account by just clicking on top here at copy trading, and then right away you will see a list of all available copy trading strategies. So these are all strategies that potentially you can follow. They are by default sorted by the total performance. So you can see, for example, the number one here called Fractals has a total performance of 3,775.73%. So that's quite impressive. More on that later, if that is maybe not the only metric you should be looking at. You can see what the performance today was. So it seems like this gentleman or lady hasn't traded so far. You can see how long the strategy was active. So this one was founded 65 days ago. And you can see the followers. So 214 people up to now are following the strategy, and the equity. So around about 75,000 US dollars or 1.85 Bitcoins are following that strategy at the moment. Then there's a rating tab here, which I always think is a little bit misleading. So if you hover over there with your mouse, you can see what the individual stars mean. It's basically how active is that equity manager? Does he have like a good relationship between profitable trades and not profitable trades? How large is his turnover, and so on and so forth. However, I wouldn't necessarily suggest maybe sorting by this. The details are, more in the strategies. In my opinion, one good thing to start how to access all of this information, and we are talking here at the moment about 113 different strategies you potentially could be following. So you might not want to click through all of them and access them individually. So we need to do some filtering. And we can do so, for example, if we click on this little icon up here, we can look at all different kinds of metrics. You can search by names if you're looking for a specific one, for example. You can sort by currency. So, for example, if you have a Bitcoin wallet that you are currently trading with PrimeXBT, you might want to look for strategies that are denominated in Bitcoin. Likewise, Ethereum, Covesting Token, US dollar Tether, US dollar coin. You can sort by total performance. So you, for example, you can say, I only want to look at strategies that have a performance already better than, for example, 50%. Same goes for today. So if you you really have fun in taking risk, for example, you could be looking at strategies that on the specific day where you are searching made, for example, over 20%. For me, the most valuable filter here is actually this one, active days. And I highly recommend maybe starting out there by sorting strategies that have been active for more than 90 days. Why is that so important, in my opinion? Because it shows that the manager of that strategy has been active for at least 3 months already. So and we all know in the crypto world, in the world of crypto trading, especially, a lot of things can happen. I mean, look at the last 3 months, where we came from, how volatile the whole market was. And if you have a manager that was not able to survive, not only able to survive this time, but was also profitable in that time, that says a lot already about the certain approach. And as we can see here, then when I filter for 90 days, there are only 39 strategies left at the moment. And for the fun of it, we could now, for example, say, hey, this one, Dean's Note, 3,000% plus, looks already quite good, has been active for almost half a year already, 151 days, has a solid base of followers also. Let's click on it and look into the details more then. So if we get like details about the strategy, and I think very interesting here is especially if we look at the maximum drawdown at all time. And you can see here this strategy, and remember it's up, what was that, 3,000%, at one time had a drawdown of 90%, almost 91%. So, I mean, that's almost all the money at one point in time was already gone. And so it seems like this gentleman or lady, utilizes a lot of leverage to achieve returns like this. Now, we can always discuss, of course, is it worth or not accepting a drawdown of 90% to achieve a return of 3,000%? This is something you have to decide, obviously, for yourself. Everybody has a different approach or different risk mentality. Yeah, some people out there might think like, oh no, I couldn't handle that. If I invest and my initial investment goes down by 90% first, and then it takes a long time until I reach my initial investment again. Other people will be like, oh yeah, whatever, it's worth if I can earn something like 3,000%. This is also defined here for the last 30 days. So you see in the last 30 days, this strategy had a maximum drawdown of 41%. But in the last 30 days, it was also profitable by 171%. So this 171% in relation to the 41% drawdown is actually not bad. Nonetheless, you, for example, will have to decide for yourself, is that maybe a little bit too hot for me, or is that something I can live with? If you decide, for example, now, okay, maybe, this is a little bit on the edge already of what I'm looking for, you just go down the list and have a look at other strategies. So let's see who has been active the longest here. So we have here a strategy called One Bitcoin. Has been active for 662 days, performance 19%. Well, HODLink would have been more profitable there. In that case, maybe this gentleman, Bitcosaurus app, 320% up, 506 days active, a lot of followers. So he managed over 700,000 US dollars in equity of other people. Let's have a look at him. And you can see here already, for example, also over the whole period he was active as a manager, how did the profit develop? And you can see here very clearly since December, he seems to have a little bit of trouble also, judging how the market is going, and because the market had such a wild ride. Now, again, here we have a maximum drawdown of 62%, last 30 days, 35%. Has a high win ratio. So this guy closes almost 80% of all trades and profits. So this is, I wouldn't say conservative, but it seems like already, not as as hot and fiery as the strategy prior to this. So what you can do really is go really through that list until you find something where you say like, okay, this is a good return, and the drawdown, the return in relationship to the drawdown is also something I like. I personally, when I'm using this copy trading module to follow people, I'm always looking for something for managers that are able to have a nice return, but not more than 20% of drawdown, because that says something about their risk approach. That shows that they are not over leveraging. That they are not maxing out the leverage of 1 to 10 or 1 to 20, and so on and so forth. So if you're a trader yourself, so you can use this module to not just follow strategies, you can also create your own strategy with this. So if you go on the tab here, My Strategy, and click on Get Started, you can choose your own strategy. You can choose your currency. You have to define a strategy name, describe your strategy. You can share some social links, for example, if you have a Telegram group or an Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, and so on and so forth. You have to decide how much you want to invest of your own money into your strategy. So minimum for Bitcoin, at least at the moment here, is 0.01 Bitcoin. So the threshold really is quite low to start that. And then you click on Create Strategy, and you can start trading. And the more successful you are in trading your own strategy there, the more followers automatically over time you will gain. And every time you close a winning trade, you will get some of the profit your followers made by following you for yourself. The standard here is that you get 20% of the profit your followers make. So if you are able, for example, to accumulate a lot of money and you make something like $100,000 in profit for your followers, 20,000 of this would be for you. So it's a great start if you are aiming one day to also become a money manager, to build up a track record and already start earning some money on the side with it. So if you ever thought, of, hey, my trading is already working out pretty good, here's really a good opportunity to use this copy trading module to earn some extra income with that. If you are a holder of the so-called Covesting Token, so this is the token which is powering this copy trading platform, you can get some nice perks. So depending on how many Covesting tokens you hold, and it starts here $250 in Covesting tokens already, you can get trading fees discounts. You can, if you are following strategies, that is, you can get a higher profit share. You have a reduced entry fee when starting to follow strategies down to 0%. And if you want to stake your dormant cryptocurrencies, you will also get a yield boost of up to 2%. So, for example, we can have a look here quickly. For example, US dollar token has a yield at the moment of 1.26%. So potentially, if you're a elite member of Covesting, you could ramp this up to 2.5%. Just as a side note here. So yeah, a lot of actually pretty easy to access, but a lot of informations, of course, were in the details. So I really invite you, go through there, see who's good to follow in your opinion when it comes to risk-reward ratio, the amount of performance that person makes in relationship to the total drawdown the strategy makes. And I'm very sure there's something for everybody really out there. Yeah, that's it really in short. So pretty straightforward actually to access that module and use it.
Yeah, I really like this. I think what you should be looking at when looking through strategies, try to first have a decent understanding of what makes good trading practice, and you want to look for long-term a long-term positive equity curve, right? With with no drawdowns that are like just completely screwing the whole equity curves. You want to see something go slow and steady to the upside with the minimum drawdowns. And going through the strategies, obviously, there's a few ones which are like looking very, very, very interesting, right? Which
Absolutely,
has
yeah.
an has an actually very good equity curve. So I'm seeing like one which is called, I think, FX Scalpers. It's
Let,
only been
let's let's have a look at that one. What is
yeah,
it called? FX Scalpers?
yeah, it's on BTC, and it's FX Scalpers. So it's
Here
been
we go.
active.
This one.
Yeah, it's been active for only 37 days, so it's not a lot of time, right? So 37 days, I guess, is okay, but I'd like to see that be more towards like 60. But if you look at the maximum drawdown is 6%, while the win rate
Mm.
is very, very good
Mm.
at above 70%.
Also,
And
here, what I like about this one, for example, is this strategy manager is sharing his trading history. So
yeah,
you can really see one-to-one the individual trades he did. That is something you don't need to do as a strategy manager, but of course it adds a bit to to the authenticity of this guy, my opinion. If I see here, wow, profitability 30 days, 35%, with a drawdown of 6.6%, that's really, really good. Yeah.
yeah, I think this is one strategy. If you're interested in investing here, I think this is one strategy you should
Mm.
keep your eyes on, and
Oh,
perhaps wait until end of March or maybe the middle of April to see if the
mm.
equity curve is still showing the same same equity curve, basically.
Yeah.
Um,
At the moment, not able to follow the strategy because he has
all
already
right.
reached the max cap. Depending on how long you've been doing this as a strategy manager, this maximum equity of followers goes up as well.
Hmm.
So it's not possible, for example, right from the beginning that people throw $1 million at you, which in my opinion makes sense. So because you need to kind of build up your reputation.
Yeah.
Mm.
And but if this guy continues like this, yeah, it's gonna look beautiful. So I think what you first want to do is you want to look at the performance, the equity graph here under performance, and you want to make sure that it's actually going steadily to the upside without any major dips. And there's a few who actually does look quite interesting here with some really
Mm.
nice equity curves, and
So,
those are, in my opinion, the ones you want to look at. But then again, you can have an account which has like 10 days trading history and with a very good equity curve. So you want to have that, I'd say, at least 2 months of profitable trading without any major drawdowns. Because I know, when I talked with my private students, I always tell them that if you're able to demo trade for 2 months with a positive equity curve without any major drawdowns, I think it's time to just go live with a smaller
yeah,
amount and
yeah.
try to replicate that. So 2 months is for me a pretty good indication that and of course it also depends on the number of trades. Of course, if you take one trade a month, it's not going to tell you much.
Mm.
But if you take at least 5 trades a week during 2 months and you're profitable with a positive equity curve, it tells me that you're managing risk correctly and you know how to trade. So that's what I would be looking for. So
I mean, especially in times like this where the market, tends to go wild at times. It's
yeah.
pretty impressive, to achieve something like this with such a
Mm,
low drawdown. Also, if I look here, that guy at the margin utilization. So uh, how much of the account balance is he using really for trading? And you can see here he never at one time he was like almost at 25%, which still is pretty low. He still had like 75% of margin left for trading. So it seems like he or she is not using a lot of leverage here also, and that makes it even more impressive in my opinion. So I'll definitely follow this one for the future as well. Yeah, nice find there, Lip.
yeah, I think this could be one of those people who have a profitable system but doesn't have the funds, right?
Yeah,
Like
yeah, that's a good, and that's
yeah,
you know what I'm always saying. Like yesterday, for example, when I did a little bit of live trading or wanted to do live trading, but there were no opportunities really. I also said to the people watching there, even if you don't have like tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands US dollar of equity, you can use something like this to start building a track record. And once you
yeah,
have, for example, a year or two in track records, and you can show something like this, hey, I have a low drawdown with a good profitability. Then you can take this and hand this out to investors that might be interested in having somebody managing at least a portion of the money, whether it's through something like a copy trading module, or whether you go out there and approach investors by yourself.
yeah,
So this is
exactly.
how you get into this whole scene. This is, by the way, also how I started. So nobody is usually born, with a golden spoon and a high bank account to
Yeah,
build up on.
I'd say most people that I talk to have, are like in crypto. There's a lot of people who, made a lot of money in the beginning of of the run, and they're now trading that profit. But in the forex market, you need, I mean, I'd say you need somewhere between 100 and 200K USD account to make a living, right? So,
Yeah.
um, not a lot of people, like normal ordinary people, they're not walking around with 200K USD sitting in a bank account and thinking, what should I do with this one, and then like you have a lot of people who spend a huge amount of time learning how to trade and developing a system, but they might have a full-time job that's not paying super well, but they're really passionate about trading. And in those cases, there's a lot of investor who's actually looking for successful traders, because being a successful trader is probably one of the hardest things you can do. So
Yeah.
for an investor with a lot of money, they're probably saying, I'd rather invest in somebody who can prove to me that they know what they're doing. I'd rather give them the money and not have the stress, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
And and this you can confirm, with the Covesting platform. You can um, like validate your identity. So you'll have like a blue check mark on the strategy which says um, you've passed ID verification. So
Mm.
uh, and yeah, if you can show a positive expectancy and an equity curve for, I'd say, maybe 6 months, that's a good receipt to say, like, this is my account, I know how to trade, and try to get funding with that. I think that is also one of the reasons to use a platform like this, where you can actually confirm publicly that you're a good trader.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when I look at something like this, I wish that was already available when I started my career. I still had to, put everything in an Excel file. I still do, by the way. So I'm that old-fashioned, yes. And and then go out and approach people by myself.
One thing one thing I'm thinking about here is, most of the accounts here on Covesting is based on Bitcoin, and that kind of, I don't really understand why that's the case. Because if you all right, so if you invest in a Bitcoin based strategy in a crypto bull market, you're making double gains, right? So if the strategy is successful, you're making money from the actual profit of the strategy, and also the fact that the price of Bitcoin is rising. That's a great way to, you're kind of hot, like if you have a successful strategy on co-investing, you're kind of hodling Bitcoin while also having somebody trade that stack, right?
Mm.
But in the market that we're currently in right now, maybe you don't want to hold large amount of Bitcoin, so you might want to instead invest your USDT or USDC in a strategy where you don't run the risk of losing a lot of money if the price of Bitcoin or the general crypto market moves to the downside. So in my opinion, it makes more sense from that perspective to invest in USDT. or USDC.
Yeah, I think also when it comes to doing this with Bitcoin as your account currency, you always need to compare a bit. For example, for the past year, maybe the price of Bitcoin has gone up by X%. So the strategy you are following there should make at least that amount of percentage in performance as well. Otherwise, it just doesn't make sense to trade. You could have as well have hodled them, by the way. And actually, in reality, you want the same amount in performance as hodling plus a little bit more, because again, otherwise it wouldn't make sense trading. And absolutely agree with you here, Lip. Might make sense, you know, especially if you are a hodler, if you are a long-term believer in Bitcoin, to say, yeah, but I'm going to maybe diversify a little bit, put a little bit in US dollar token, or maybe even Ethereum, and then use that to follow strategies like this. Absolutely agree.
But it seems like more people are interested in investing in strategies based on Bitcoin.
Seems like it. I mean, we can have a quick look here. Bitcoin 78 strategies, and all strategies. What did I say? 113. So that's around about 80% of all strategies.
Yeah.
Are done a bit. I think it's just for the fact, you know, that Bitcoin is the flagship of cryptocurrencies. It's the most famous one. So when people come in touch with cryptocurrencies, usually it is through Bitcoin. I don't know anybody that started, for example, by buying US dollar token.
Exactly.
You do that later on because you need when you need to transfer some money somewhere else.
All right, so I think this kind of covers most of the Covesting platform. So if you guys are interested in the Covesting platform, you can also sign up to PrimeXBT if you're not already signed up by using the link in the description below and using the I think it's the Birb code. We have a code in the description below which will give you 7K USD deposit bonus. And also make sure you follow Dirk. His channel is also in the description below, the PrimeXBT Academy, where he will teach you a lot of nice tips and tricks in trading. So we don't really have much questions to go through today, but I think we made it, you know, a 30 minutes review here and a walkthrough of Covesting, and I think we kind of covered most of what we wanted to cover here today. So you'll guys see more of us in future videos, and I think the next video I want to do is a live stream where we talk about trading with a full-time job, because this is a good idea. Like you're investing in trader while you're working, and I also want to talk about how you can trade yourself while holding a full-time job. So yeah, looking forward to that one.
Definitely something I think that will be interesting for most of you out there.
Yeah, all right, guys. So thanks for joining, everyone, and I will see you guys in the next live stream. I'm probably gonna host one myself this week as well. All right, guys, take care, and
bye bye,
see you all
everybody.
next time.